Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Drawn to Life. Cricket sent you? Well, I was outside my farm. I went to check on Dan Banya. When I went back inside, I noticed the Banya seed be missing. Then when I went to the mayor, I noticed some strange footprints outside of my house. But I figured they were from my little Rapo. Sorry I can't be helping you more. In the last part, we started off, well, actually no, we did the second level of World 2, and now we're figuring out exactly what was stolen, even though we know what was stolen, don't we? The Bartlebys, they have come to find my cutlery, rather. So I have no idea what happened. I was outside the restaurant. When I went back inside, the cutlery was missing. Who's there? You're a bad ninja, man. Bartleby, who was that? So you should track him down. He looks suspicious. Yeah, but he's a bad ninja if he got noticed by the cook, of all people. And, wow, yeah, you're bad at this. For rescuing me before, I thank you. I must become the best thief in the world. Here, I will return the Banya seeds. You will not find me again. Bartleby, how's the investigation proceeding? A thief? And he escaped? That description. It must be Sasha. I've been searching for him my entire career. He is like a shadow, elusive. Sasha, I will find you. Bartleby, continue your search. He should still be in the village. It's not like, well, at least they gave us a good direction to go off of, because honestly... actually, no, now that I think about it, there's not really much of the village you can search anyway, so... It's kind of an unneeded hint, honestly. Because you could probably run across the entire map and search for him in like 3 minutes. But here he is. You are persistent. Cricket is back? I will return Cookie's cutlery, but I cannot be caught. Farewell. Yeah, okay, that was resolved rather quickly, all things considered now, wasn't it? Well, let's get this thing back to the mayor, because this plotline's been going on long enough, I suppose. You found Sasha again? And he escaped. He won't be easy to catch. But he returned both items? That's interesting. We have to keep an eye out. He's still bound to slip up eventually. And then we'll be there to catch him. If you excuse me, I'm going to continue my investigation. I guess we should move on with our plans for the festival. We still haven't been able to find music. And more importantly, we're stuck in night. The clock on the village hall has been broken, so we can't go from night to day. If we could find the template page for the clock hands, we could repair it. Bartleby, enter Gearworks and find the village clock page. I'll speak with Isaac and figure out what to do about the festival. Alright, got our next objective. That was kind of sudden, all things considered, but let's head on over to the 3rd level. No, technically the 8th level, but you get what I mean. Now, I'm trying to remember how I feel about this level right off the top of my head. This is the Gearworks. This one isn't too bad. And I believe we actually immediately start off with an easel. Yes there is. We have to draw a gear. A big surprise. I believe the gears all rotate in one direction, and for this I just went with a generic kind of bronzy gear. Figuring out how to do metallic with this specific color set was weird, but I don't think I did it great, but I did it well enough, I think. And the outline took a while in particular. Now also, since they just brought up Isaac, fun fact about Isaac, his name wasn't always going to be Isaac. His name was originally going to be Wilhelm, but they changed it, assumably because they thought it was too similar to the villain, Wilfra. And honestly, I could agree with that. Though, on similar naming stuff, in the game's files, Mari is surprisingly often referred to as mayonnaise for some reason. I find that funny. But yeah, the gears act as you'd think you would. When you step on them, you're rotating with them, and I think they all go one direction more or less. Navy's groupie. Is Navy alright? I think that's how Navia would be pronounced. It's either Navuj, and I don't think that'd be a good name, so Navy it is. I'm assuming the J is silent like the Z in Sasha. I think the cloud's like the one thing you see consistently throughout this game because it's just a useful platform. It makes me wonder, if you could theoretically sequence break the game and play these games in any order, would the platform technically be active even though you haven't drawn it yet? Probably not, but I guess playing this game out of order would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it? Also, I should mention, when it comes to the Acorns triple split, I believe it's random as to where they land. Like, it's not fixed trajectories. Generally, you'll always have one land left and one land right, but as to how far they go, I think that's partially random. Mind you, it also probably has to do with how high you are in the air when you fire it, what the terrain's like on the ground, so it's understandably random. Also, for some reason, I don't know why, seeing Navy's name reminded me. Fun, weird little trivia fact. This game obviously was released in most regions, but for some reason, Australia exclusively got a DS case for this game, and I don't know why. I think it was like something that could have been universal, but mind you, I say that, but how many games that were developed in Japan got peripheral materials, be it stories or otherwise, toys, all sorts of stuff like that in Japan, and were never released over here, even though there was likely a good market for them? The answer is probably more than there should have been. Which, some of them I can understand, because some games probably just don't have the fan base for it over here, but like, what's a good example? Let's say some of the Mega Man novels. Like, I think the thing that explains that Colonel in X4 actually has a chip that does not allow him to surrender. I think that was in one of the Japanese-only things. I say think as a keyword because that may have also been in the American manual, but I forget. I could theoretically go over and... Actually, no, wait, no. Because I don't actually have a manual for X4, do I? Because my X4 I got at EB Games used in one like those old little green disc envelopes. I actually had to custom make my case for it by downloading the... by having a spare jewel case and downloading the images for the back and front and then printing them. Which, it worked out well enough, I suppose. It looks good. Blends in with my copy of X5 and the copy of X6 I still don't have and I need to get just to complete the collection, even though, oh boy, X6. Mind you, I still think, I think the most expensive Mega Man X game is still X3, and I'll get that eventually. I hope. Either way, I'm assuming this is the Navy in question. Yep. Festival. Sounds great. I've been working on a new song. Gee, I wonder what person he's supposed to be referencing. Actually, kind of reminds me of that one episode of Hey Arnold. Either way, going back to the game. Something I do have to wonder when it comes to, obviously, the creative aspects of this game is some of the weird stuff that kids made. Because, obviously, kids might not have as much practice, but at the same time, the way a child's mind works is so radically different from that of someone my age, even at only 20, that it would be incredibly interesting to see how they would approach some of the things they have to draw on this, if they even know what the object is to begin with, thus meaning they can make even weirder things. Though, when you get down to it, I suppose that was more likely the overall purpose of this game, at least in terms of what started the developmental process, beyond the idea of, what if you could draw your own stuff, is thinking about and spurning creativity in children. Because, generally, even though I've met a lot of good artists and people who were creative who didn't really start doing creative stuff until probably middle school or high school. In fact, I fit in that description pretty well myself. Though I don't view myself as that good, honestly. Because a lot of the people I know who've been doing creative stuff, be it art or otherwise, for a long time are really good. My friend Wheatbread in particular debates whether or not her big interest in art started from either this game or from a personal thing that I won't go into detail with. And I could see it being either, especially this game, because honest to God, this is probably a game, if I ever have kids, that I'm going to give to them to try and see not only how they approach these situations, but what they would draw to fit in some of this stuff. Oh yeah, that's me remembering I have the flip. The flip really is actually a pretty good ability. In fact, I dare say it's better to use that than actually jump on most enemies, not only because of the higher damage, but you're entirely invincible during it, which is really good. Either way, time for us to draw our next thing, which is something I actually mistake the idea of. We need to draw a platform that switch to my right will activate, and my general idea for drawing this was to put a little bar on it to remind me of the order of which the colors on it, to which it activates the colors of, in which case it goes red, blue, and then green for the colors it activates. But honestly, what I forgot about is that the platforms are basically recolors of this. So, like, the red version, as we'll see in a moment, is just the thing I just drew with a red filter over it, making it look not too good. I probably could have gone about that a lot better. Mind you, I guess I would have had to use a lot of white, black, and gray to make it work right with that color scheme, and I probably would have had to plan ahead a bit on that. This is one of the few items I actually forgot about how it worked in terms of the actual art stuff, so that's on me. They do always activate in that order. It's always red, blue, green, green, no, red, blue, green, blue, red is the order it goes through if you want to cycle through it. And this is going to be where you get a good amount, not only your templates, but also, I think one secret here as well as one Raposa. So there's a lot of stuff for you to get here. And needless to say, I recommend getting all of it, even though I'm not buying many of the secrets. I should actually see if I can figure out how much money you need in order to get everything. Drawn to life, total sales cost. That's giving me the total sales for the game. I know this game is actually quite the hit, too, if I recall. I think this sold hundreds of thousands of units, at least. And I can see that. Not only I can see kids being into this because they get to do their own stuff, but I can actually, now that I think about it, seeing parents being very into this game idea, giving them a chance to try and do something, especially if, say, the parents were gamers themselves and they wanted to see their child be creative from a young age, that would be nice. Especially it could be a good way to bond with your kids as well. Because whenever I think of, like, my parents in games, not only do I think of my mom kicking my ass as Chun-Li, or them kicking my ass at Dr. Mario especially, but I also think of the times where I played video games with my elder sibling. This is plural, sort of. My sisters didn't really play many games with me. And also my parents. Because, like, I remember my brother helping me along in Zelda games as a child, Mario, dragging my mom along to play Sonic with me. Well, Sonic 2 and 3, because we actually didn't own Sonic 1 growing up for some reason until probably the Game Boy Advanced era. Not through Genesis, thankfully, through Mega Collection, but there was that. It just takes me back to good old times, you know? Things were simpler back then, at least for me. The politics in the world, still kind of a mess, but I think that's an implicit bias, actually, cognitive bias, where you always view things when you were younger as better, even if they weren't. I think that's a thing in psychology. Mind you, I guess it's also partially because you're just aware of less. Children can think of others, yes, but there's also that partial, I'm not sure if it's survival or just due to lack of teaching, where they're also kind of selfish, but not entirely selfish like an adult can be. You probably know what I mean. I'm also going on with this way too long. I'm not even sure why I backtracked right there. That was... I actually know, I think I got a secret, that's right. I probably could have cut back up here, but that conversation... Well, one-sided conversation, because that's what these are. Last to me the thing. Either way, getting back onto the game, once you reach these platforms, this level kind of feels like it meanders a little bit. Because the optional paths kind of take on their own identity, and because of that, you lose kind of a sense of direction when you do that. Also, I really should not have fallen down here. Whoops. Either way, let's save the last Raposa for this level. Another groupie. Navy's the greatest performer ever. As far as I can recall, he's also the only one in the game, so he doesn't really have much competition. Mind you, now that I think about it, outside of the village, at least in Drawn to Life 1, we never get too much into the world of the Raposa. We just know the creator did the thing, Wilfra did the other thing, and that's all that matters. And mind you, for the first game's story, that's all you really need, because it's more of a personal story about the specific village and particularly like Mari, Joey, the mayor, and all the people in there. So I guess that's the kind of focus they went through. Or I won't speak too much about Drawing the Life 2 story, but it gets a bit grander. You know, I like that little grunt enemies make when you step on them, but I kind of wish there was more than one. Because, let me think. I think there's maybe one of those grunts for every boss fight and then the normal enemies. Actually, no. 2 for normal enemies, because the Shadow Warriors have another one. Either way, continuing on, our next thing we have to draw is like a little ski lift basket. I just kind of went standard for this. Red, yellow, green for the actual basket, I think I did. Nothing too complicated. Shading this took a bit of thinking, though, because I had to think, like, where would light be coming from in this, and where would it be hitting? Though when you get curved things like this, that's, I suppose, the risk you run. I also probably could have added a bit of 3D to it by making it, like, similarly to the Ferris wheel carts, adding a black line that went over the one flat line to kind of imply where a seat would be. But, I know I've said that a lot, but I'm putting both effort into this art and a lack of effort at times, which is weird. Although we've yet to get to the favorite things I did in this game. We'll see those. One towards the end of this world, another in the third world. Also, I don't know why I don't think there's anything in the direction I'm trying to go, because I'm trying to get back up here. But I don't think there's anything over there aside from maybe some Rapo-Coins. So I'm just wasting time here, which, I've done before. Need I mention the times I forgot to edit out battles in the Final Fantasy games? Which, okay, I probably should have hit that platform. Oh, well. So let's get some more Shadow Goo out of the way. Also, I'd like to note, we only have a third of the Shadow Goo so far, and I'm pretty sure the last 2/3 is just on the screen, so odd placement there. Would have sparked it out a bit better. But mind you, I forget which section number we're in, too. Also, I'd like to note, this place is called the Gearworks, but aside from the gears you draw yourself and the ones in the background, there's actually not too many gearworky things going on here. Because when I think Gearworks, I think a very mechanical-looking area. I guess what they're going for here is a mechanical area retaken by nature, kind of like Area Zero and Metal Gear Mega. Mega Man 04. But, I know I said that a lot in this LP, but it's what I do. Admittedly, looking at my character now, something that Drawn to Life kind of does to the things you draw, even if you use a template, is that sometimes the pixels kind of blend together due to the way they animate it, and thus, similarly to Yoshi's Island, the way some of the sprites rotated in that, some pixels can kind of go missing. Like, you might remember, I drew a little smiley face on Bartleby here, but you can barely see the red line that makes it up on his face. Partially because it's only 1 pixel thick, I admit to that, but at the same time, you also, like, lose the detail on his eyes. So, you kind of need to keep in mind that smaller details might not reflect well when you draw your character if you do a custom one. Though, something I've seen a lot of people do for this game is take one of the pre-made templates for the characters and just kind of modify them to fit what they need. And you know what? That's actually a pretty good way to go about it, especially in terms of the way things animate. Either way, that's the Gearworks. Not a bad level, not too memorable in the long scheme of things, but it's still better than World 1. Any of World 1's levels, really. And let's see. Actually, if you look at the Raposa, we can see we're a good distance through the game. Not quite halfway, but we're getting there. Actually, wait. How many levels is that? 15? And that's number 8 of those down. Yeah, we're basically about halfway through the game. You know what? That actually kind of fits. Hey, you're Navy. Yeah, Bartleby said there's a festival about to happen. Can't be a festival without some music, and I'm the best there is. Thanks again for hooking me up with this gig. I like the way your head coil animates. I actually really do like that. That's fun to watch. Navy rocks. He's my favorite singer. How was Gearworks? I wrote in a basket or nothing but switches? Nothing but switches. If only retailers could have been like that last year, because otherwise, well, Switches? That's really boring. Welcome to 2017 and 18. That's wrong, dude.
Now, Banya, that's exciting. So many dishes and possibilities. Navy probably went to see the mayor. I guess we'll see you around.
Though actually, I believe news just broke like 2 days ago that the Switch is now the fastest selling console in US history, and that's incredible.
Navy, you've returned just in time for the festival.
Yep, no way I would miss a gig like this. I've been looking for a place to call home. Maybe I'll stick around after the show.
That would be great. We still need to have the creator clear the area around the stage.
Not my problem. I'll be around. That's more population, I guess.
And Bartleby, you found the village clock page? Let me place it back in the Book of Life. There we go, just like before. We'll ask the creator to draw the clock hands once the festival is over. Now it's up to the creator to redraw the clock face.
So time doesn't flow unless the clock face is there? That's a bit weird. Either way, for this I'm just making a very generic looking clock page. I tried to get the numbers to look good. I think I did well on some of them, others not so much. But at the same time, this is probably one of the creations we're both seeing the most and least because it's such a minor detail, all things considered. And see, look, you can barely see all the numbers.
It's almost time for the festival. Bartleby, find Navy. He's probably waiting at the village stage east of here.
Alright, but with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 10, we'll be not only talking with Navy, we'll be seeing what that festival has to offer for us. See you guys then.